It's quite funny because I have been a raw foodist for almost 11 years. Primarily fruits and vegetables, and people ask me like, protein? And I wonder, like, 70% of nature are raw vegan animals and 100% are raw animals, only eat raw foods. And I'm like gorillas weighing like 260 kilos, lifting almost 2 tons, are like raw vegan living on fruits and vegetables, and people asking me, protein? They gotta be kidding me, right? So with the intent to educate you about raw vegan proteins and the cheapest ones, at least here in Brazil, I don't know about how much they would be in America, but I believe all the ones that I'm showing here are quite inexpensive all around the world and easily accessible. So let's learn a little bit about raw vegan proteins. So we separated here by class, by category of foods. So at the beginning here we have the nuts and seeds. Although should be nuts and seeds, here, at least here in Brazil, nuts are really expensive. So it's only the seeds are quite inexpensive here. So I have separated some of the most inexpensive and good amino acid profile. So we have here chia seeds, we have flax seeds, we have sesame seeds but like unhulled, and we also have sunflower seeds. We only have to take a little bit of we have to pay attention a little bit on seed consumption because they have a good amount of protein, but they are primarily lipidic. They are primarily fat. Their fat content is quite high, running around 70% to maybe 80%. They usually have around 15% protein, most of it fat, and some a little bit carbohydrates. So you can also use nuts like almonds and things like that, probably in the US. They're not as expensive as here in Brazil, and they also run around 15% protein. And because of their caloric density, you don't need to eat a lot of them to get a good amount of protein, in grams I mean. So the seeds here run around 10 reais per kilo. That would be like $3, something like that. Maybe they can go up to 20 reais depending on where you buy. So that would be like $6, around $6. Here we have the cereals, the grains. I could have easily put other grains here, but most of the grains in the raw state are not really tasty. And buckwheat, it's a little bit more expensive here in Brazil, but I would add buckwheat here because it's probably the most tasty together with oats. So here we have oats, the natural oats, right? Just unhulled, but it's the grain instead of what people usually see, the pre-prepared by the industry. The oats usually sold, it's preheated, and probably there goes some other industrial process to become like that. And here we have, I think it's called barley in English, because here in Brazil it's called cevadinha. So it's not a gluten-free grain, and that's why but one of the reasons I didn't use wheat here, it's because wheat, I think, not just the taste is terrible, but I feel a lot worse than any other grains. So barley, yeah, it does contain wheat, It does contain gluten. Oats may contain gluten depending on where it was processed, but I think here, at least in Brazil, they're the most inexpensive ones, running around 4 reais. It's like a little bit more than $1 for each kilo of these. Here we have the legumes class. The chickpeas, the mung beans, the lentils, the beans, the peas, and also peanuts that actually are not nuts but legumes. So fruit, why is fruit being shown in like a protein video? People will ask, but yes, fruit has protein. It's impressive, but it's not impressive actually. It's impressive because what we learn from the, from the industry. I'm not telling names, I'm not talking about it, but just think about anthropoid primates. A chimpanzee is like 5 times stronger than a man, kilo per kilo. So, and they only eat fruits and vegetables, for their entire life. Primarily like 97% of the calories or something like that. So just forget about it. And you believe me, even by USDA standards, they have protein. Like, so I used it here, some of the highest protein content of the fruits. Watermelon has 7% protein per macronutrient ratio, right? Lemons has, I don't know if it's a lemon or a lime, you may correct me, I'm Brazilian. So, but it has 12% protein in average, depending on the variety, of course, but still. And oranges, they have around 7% protein as well. Although their caloric density is a lot lower, you get some protein from them also. And also we have here tomatoes. I think they run around 12% protein in terms of macronutrient ratio. Zucchinis have like 17%, maybe even 30%, depending on the stage of ripeness. And we have here also the vegetables. Cruciferous vegetables usually have more protein, but the green leaves and even the tender vegetables, they also have some a good amount of protein as well, but sometimes even as high as the legumes, but they don't have as many calories, so it's hard to get a lot of protein from them. Did you like this video? Give it a thumbs up, post your comments below, share. Also, subscribe for our Instagram, Frugal Health. Subscribe for our YouTube channel. Give it a like on Facebook, also Frugal Health. You can also stay tuned for our retreats here in Brazil, in Saquarema, near Rio de Janeiro, almost in front of the beach. A beautiful place, like almost 200 fruit trees planted and growing. Some of them already fruitifying. We have like culinary retreats, and we have vegan fitness retreats. Also we have I have more than 6 books published that I'm starting to translate them for English. Here probably you're going to be more interested in the vegan fitness. I think the only hygienist recipe book for raw vegan athletes, like with no oils, no refined stuff, nothing coming in a bottle, box or can. It's only fresh, raw foods. And also we have like a culinary course online, vegan fitness, steamed foods, really low for short times, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes tops, with no refined foods, with no oils, not even a flour or anything like that. We do burgers, we do soups, a lot of stuff. If you're interested, we are also translating it for English. So stay tuned for more Frugal Health.